Yo, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, yo, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, I am my number one fan. I'm trying to get you from here to there. I'm trying to show niggas it ain't fair. How I just came up, but you not there. Stuck in the same situation you been in. They got the plug, you got the sound. You not just a groupie that's hanging around. They got the stage, but you bring the lights. It's enough room at the top, we ain't gotta fight. I am my number one fan.
It's Arnold.
And, we are the Neighbors Podcast.
Yeah, we really ain't got to keep spelling it out, but just in case.
NayborsPodcast.
Podcast.
Yo, also, people been telling us that there are other Neighbors podcasts out there.
Yeah,
You know what? We're the only ones.
We're the only ones that spell it that way.
Right.
So
And also, just be sure that when you look us up, look up those Neighbors podcasts. They weren't called the Neighbors Podcast.
Exactly.
They were called Good Morning Neighbors or something like that.
Neighbors in Philly or neighbors in Toledo or something like that. To that nature. But
there's only one of us.
Only one, y'all. Only one.
So, and then also we would like to really thank y'all for this past week. We really saw all the love and support from a lot of y'all out there.
Yes. We really thank y'all for that.
Right.
This week we have been on, I'm going to say it, we've been on fire.
Right.
We've been on fire. So, don't put no water on us yet because we want to burn just a little bit more.
Just a little bit
more. So,
so if you have an idea, a topic, if you are trying to be on the show, just make sure you inbox us.
Yeah, go ahead, inbox us, DM us,
email us at theneighborspodcast@gmail.com, and just be sure to let us know, what it is that you would like to talk to us about. Now, keep in mind, though, we don't get into the gossip, okay?
Yeah,
We keep it positive because we try and build up the neighborhood.
Exactly, it's all about positivity. We want to make sure that we want to teach one, each one.
Now, talking about somebody DMing us, right?
Yeah.
And some of this might be a little controversial, maybe, but
could be depending on how you look at it,
right? But the thing is that as it was brought to our attention, one of our listeners, he would like to know why, I guess, his girlfriend.
Well,
or lady friend or former lady friend.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Because he kind of didn't really want to get into detail.
Right.
But overall it's basically, and we posed this question to you guys too.
Right.
Do you think that people should pretend to be single on social media if they're not single, if they're in a relationship?
Now, let's review this type of topic, okay? Now, if you are in a relationship, both of us have been married for quite some time, and I know some people, they get bored. Maybe it's time for them to move on. Sometimes you outgrow where you are.
Correct.
Sometimes you need just a little, like I said, a little bit more attention, one way or the other, because that person that you're in a relationship with may be lacking something, and or you're just influenced by what's going on mainstream, one way or the other, whether it's social media or TV or whatever. Sometimes what is outside looks great,
right,
and unfortunately, it's not that. You get what I mean?
If you're in a relationship, all right, so we know a lot of couples that they are on social media.
Right.
They follow each other.
Right.
They like and comment on each other's posts and stuff like that. But the majority of them do say that they are in a relationship. They don't portray themselves as single. And I think like the both of us, we either put pictures of our family up, our wives, and we don't disrespect any women. We don't try to come at no other women. We don't try to make any type of advances, any type of derogatory remarks to any type of women, anything.
Right.
Because what we're trying to do is everything that we're doing is on a positive level. We're about upliftment, and we're about encouraging people to do better in life, because that helps us by helping somebody else to do better.
And I believe we're trying to be the best role models we can be.
Correct.
In the community, because I think one of the things that the community is lacking are strong black men being that
to
positive.
some degree. To some degree.
You know, because granted, everyone has bumps in the road.
Right.
You get what I mean? No one is perfect.
Correct.
You know, and no one can sit here and say, "Oh yeah, I'm a 10." Well, you can't. You know, you get what I mean. You know, no one is a 10. So you might think you are.
Correct.
But with reality, like sometimes your image of yourself is bloated.
Right.
And I think that sometimes people, when they get on social media and portray themselves as single and, hey, I'm cute, or I'm a dime, or, you know, whatever it might be, it brings attention to them that they're lacking somewhere else.
So, well, let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, we're frequently on social media.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we both have had people DM us certain little things, and if we don't like it, we either decline it or we tell them nicely, yo, we're not interested in this, we're in a relationship, or whatever. So, how do you know if a person is single or not if they're not putting any images up or anything up betraying the fact that they are single or not?
I don't think you know one way or the other until someone says something.
Right, you know.
I mean, but I do. I think some people are just thirsty all the time,
right?
And I do think that some will, you know, like I said, they're just thirsty. I think overall it's just thirsty. I can't put it no other way.
Right. Yeah. Because you know, people they like attention certain ways.
Right.
People they gravitate to the attention that they get.
Right.
And if they get it a certain way, you know, they continue to do it.
Right.
You know?
I mean, so I'll put it to you like this. I mean, you know, you and I, we go back and forth about this whole king queen thing, right?
Right. Right. We always do.
Yeah. You know, and as I said to you, I'm not about to call nobody a king or a queen.
Right.
Because there's some people that were slaves.
Right. Right.
I mean, but and so for me, I don't engage in that because sometimes that brings in other types of attention.
Correct.
Sometimes
I understand what that.
You know,
I understand.
You know, so I know for me, I try to stray away or stay away from anything that someone will be able to misconstrue as something else.
Correct.
And not saying that everyone takes it that way, but I'm just like uber cautious that way.
Yeah.
That's just me.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And you should be. You know, everybody should be cautious about anything they do. Now, as far as me, when I use the king and queen, and particularly the queen, I use it as an upliftment statement.
And I understand that.
And as part of my spirituality and the things that I have learned and the journey that I have taken, because I believe that we all should be able to uplift each other some type of way.
Right.
And granted, every woman is not a queen and every man is not a king.
Right.
But they have the potential to become kings and queens. Now, they're not the literal sense of what a king is as far as Old English and Scottish rule and all that, the monarch rule, but to uplift you, to let you know that you are better than than people may perceive you to be.
Yeah.
Because you are. There's a quote: "As a man thinketh, he is."
Right.
And that goes for a woman: "As she thinketh, she is."
Right.
So if you carry yourself a certain way and you present yourself a certain way, you know, you start to feel better about yourself. People and other people around you start to feel better about yourself. But I don't take any away from the way you defined it different than I defined it.
Right.
Because we're both on the same page. It's just that you're when you acknowledge a person a king and queen, they actually are a king and queen in your eyesight.
Right. Because
I see the potential for the king and queen.
I mean, because then here's the other thing too. How do you determine what's really the potential?
Right.
You know, because so that's where the let's not say Instagram, but social media image that people put out there, they could put out whatever they want. Right. You know, so you think that, oh yeah, they're doing this and they're doing that and they're being positive, you know, in actuality some of them are hiding behind that to make themselves feel better.
True. And I mean, but it is if it's a booster, if it's a positive booster, excuse me. But if you don't have a hidden agenda, if you don't have anything behind this, and your agenda is positivity, and it is truly to uplift, then fine. You know, I'm with that 100%. Yeah. But a lot of times you can tell generally what a person is trying to do just by their post. Yeah, you can look at it.
And some people are so those that I've seen through social media, there are there are people that have put up such magnificent positive posts.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, they forget that someone like me knows exactly who they are. I was just at your house 2 weeks ago, and you were talking about, slapping somebody with the spatula with eggs still on it.
Well, maybe they need to smack somebody at that particular time, because they should have put the cheese on the eggs when they were supposed to. But I understand, and I respect and I receive that.
Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from too. Right. And I do believe that there has to be forms of uplifting each other.
Correct.
And everyone does it differently.
Correct.
Correct. So for me, I would choose to speak to the individual and just say, yo, you could do better.
Right.
And then maybe give them opportunities or solutions. See, I think that's the other thing too. People have a problem but don't always know what the solution is.
Correct. I agree with you.
And then they don't have people that are better than them in their circle.
Right.
So if you have a circle where everyone is exactly the same, then you'll never grow.
Yeah, something's wrong with that circle. It's not saying it's a bad thing. It's just that there's also I like a lot of quotes and models and stuff. They saying if you're not the smartest person if you're the smartest person in your circle, then you need to change your circle.
Right.
And that could work good both ways.
Right.
Depending on who is in your circle, but you want to be somewhere. You want to be with a group of people of like minds, but you also want to be able to grow as a team,
right.
a squad, whatever, a
right.
neighborhood,
right.
a community. You want to be able to grow because each one can help each other out. But if you guys are just stuck there and everybody's just doing the same thing and we're not moving,
right,
then you got to change your circle.
And so I think that's where that comes in for the relationships.
Yeah,
because sometimes when you come together in a relationship, one person will be past the other, one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
And then, but after a period of time, as you're together, maybe you start to realize, like, wait a minute, maybe we're not too far from each other.
Right.
And then you become the same, right?
Right.
And then, once you get to that point, then what happens? You get stale, you get stagnant, and now all of a sudden, one person may be trying to move on, but now the other person is depressed. That
right.
person that doesn't feel like, hey, I can move on, or I don't have those opportunities or whatever. And then they might show that, you know what, I'm going to do better than you. I'm going to go out here and be an Instagram thought.
Yeah, I'm going to go on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm going to betray myself as a single person now.
Right. Because now all of a sudden I'm boosted up. Right.
Yeah, so I can get the attention.
So I don't, some people, they need that.
And it's granted, who doesn't like for a person to give them a pat on the back?
Right.
Who doesn't like when a person tell me, yo, you're doing a great job,
right.
This is that, and I can see how sometimes, in particular, and now when the question was posed to me and we seen it, the first thing to pop in my mind was, who was the person really, really talking about? Was the person talking about the male being single or the female being single? Because to me, social media can be a great opportunity if used correctly. If you use it it's like with great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
That's what social media is to me. So you have to use it in the correct way to obtain a correct greatness, if just for lack of a better word. But you do have people that are out there, you would never know that they're in a relationship. Now, some people that are in relationships, their mate don't want nobody to know that they're in a relationship. Not saying that they're ashamed of you or anything like that. It's just that maybe they don't like taking pictures.
Yeah.
They don't like doing certain things, and they just like, yo, don't put me on here. Some people don't like that.
Yeah.
Because they want to be private.
Right.
They don't want nobody to know what's going on.
Right.
But I think it is the duty of the person that is on social media that if asked, you should tell the person, yo, or if you're confronted with something like that, like, and a lot of guys, women too, but a lot of guys particularly, when you may get a post from somebody and they're like, oh, check these pictures out, or check this out. Immediately I decline that stuff. And like my Facebook and my Twitter and my Instagram account, I don't have it private. So anybody can see what I have on, and you can send me anything you want. But what makes it good for me is I appreciate the fact when people send you a crest. I mean,